Today we're breaking down the quiet power plays from the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in Tianjin, China, held August 31 to September 1, 2025. Leaders of China, Russia, India, and much of Eurasia gathered, and while the headlines showed unity, the real story is in the hidden moves that didn't make global news. President Xi Jinping opened the summit by pitching something bold: a new SCO development bank and alternative financial systems to reduce dependence on the US dollar. It wasn't just talk. This is part of a long-term push to build an economic backbone for the global south, away from Western sanctions and payment networks. Vladimir Putin backed the idea with specifics. He proposed joint SCO bonds and a shared payment and settlement system. It may sound technical, but joint bonds could fund projects across the bloc without touching Western markets. If it works, it would give Russia and its allies a financial shield against sanctions and a tool to strengthen trade inside the SCO. Beijing didn't stop at finance. Xi announced plans for an SCO Artificial Intelligence Cooperation Center and invited member states to join China's International Lunar Research Station. These offers aren't flashy headlines, but they quietly tie universities, labs, and space agencies into Chinese-led projects for decades to come. On India's side, Prime Minister Narendra Modi made his first trip to China in 7 years. The most striking moment wasn't a speech, but a 45-minute conversation with Vladimir Putin inside the Russian president's armored limousine. That unusual setting hinted at the warmth between the two leaders, with cameras later catching handshakes and smiles. For India, this was about keeping ties with Moscow strong, even while balancing partnerships with the West. Modi also emphasized peace, security, and the fight against terrorism, separatism, and extremism. His language signaled that India is open to more cooperation in counter-terror initiatives under the SCO, even as border disputes with China remain unresolved. Another quiet development was the SCO Plus session, China's outreach format that brings in non-member partners without making them full members. This year, it expanded conversations on trade and connectivity to more countries, slowly turning the SCO into a central hub for Eurasian cooperation. There was also talk of reviving the Russia-India-China trilateral dialogue. It didn't appear in official headlines, but if pursued, it could give India and China space to manage their disputes while cooperating on energy, supply chains, and technology standards, with Russia acting as a bridge. Membership also expanded. With Belarus now a full member, the SCO has 10: China, Russia, India, Pakistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Iran, and Belarus. That reach now stretches from Eastern Europe to the Middle East, giving the bloc new leverage in global trade and politics. The summit carried another theme: resisting what China called hegemonism. While the message played to domestic and regional audiences, it also quietly targeted Europe. Beijing is trying to balance by pushing anti-West rhetoric while still keeping trade with Europe alive. This explains why China pushes long-term projects like banks and research centers, instead of just fiery statements. Security cooperation was still there in the background: counter-terror networks, cybersecurity, and intelligence sharing, but the big shift was economic. The focus on de-dollarization ran through multiple sessions. If SCO trade in oil, gas, and minerals starts clearing through its own systems, even partially, it could mark a long-term structural shift in global finance. So what comes next? Expect technical work on SCO bonds, planning for a payments backbone, and the launch of working groups for the AI Center. Space cooperation will also be one to watch, as countries decide whether to join China's lunar research plans. The bottom line is this: beyond the photo ops, the 2025 Tianjin summit pushed the SCO closer to becoming not just a security club, but an economic and technological bloc with its own financial tools and science projects. These moves may seem boring now, but if they stick, they'll reshape how Eurasia trades, invests, and even explores space in the years ahead. If you found this breakdown useful and want more rare angles from big summits like this, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll keep digging into the parts others miss.